Welcome to Ecclesia Principles, a biblical strategy for believers to engage in God's design for government with Ray Eppard.
Now, today's a little bit different message. I wanted to do this sometime in this time frame, and then with the things that we've got going on today, I figured this would be best. But with this, it's God's standard, purpose and standard for civil government. You see, with this, we as humans get judged in heaven. Nations get judged here. Let me try that one more time. Nations get judged here. Now, if God is judging a nation, then that nation should be able to have some source that would tell them the standard by which they are being judged. And so today we're going to talk about the standard by which a nation is judged, and which is God's purpose. Is it aligning with God's purpose for civil government? And is it meeting His standard for civil government? And so we're going to talk about that, and you'll see a number of the reasons why our founders did what they did, because they founded our country on biblical principles. And Jesus said that if you build your house on the sand, it'll fall. If we build our government, and a lot of people are trying to move us off of the rock, and part of what we've got is already off the rock. If you build it off on the sand, then it's going to crumble. It's going to fall. But if we build the house on the rock, then even when the storms come, even when the waves come, the house will stand. Amen. And we need in this generation to re-engage with the biblical principles of government. And with what we're talking about today, this is a part of the whole counsel of God. Now, I wore a purple shirt on purpose. I didn't wear blue or red. Because this message is not a message in favor of one party or the other, because God is above all. And everyone, every person, every nation, every organization is accountable to God. And so this is a message from that standpoint. And so I hope you understand that dynamic, because both parties have got some mess. And I mean, you can include whatever other, I don't know how many total parties there are, but however many there are, they're all a mess, but they're all accountable to God. And so with this, let's look at the foundations. Romans 13:1. Let every soul, say every soul. Let every soul be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and the authorities that exist are appointed by God. Notice the phrase, every soul. Every soul includes presidents. See, so many people read this passage and say, well, it says we're supposed to obey the government. No, it's saying every individual, regardless of their place in life, needs to recognize that God is above all, and He's the one that sets everything. Every soul be subject. Presidents, kings, legislative bodies, even judges need to recognize that they should be submitted to the governing authorities that God has established. Now, what does it mean by the governing authorities? They are those that have jurisdiction, that God has given them jurisdiction. Well, now, what does that mean? Juris is a Latin word, the first part of that, juris, is a Latin word meaning of law or of right. Vindiction, the choice and use of words in speech or writing. Jurisdiction identifies who has the right to say or decide. You see, God, in Genesis 1:26, He said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion. God established self-government right at that point. God gave humans the right to make decisions about their own life, even if they're wrong. He gave Adam the legal right to eat of the tree. He didn't have the moral right, and so he suffered the consequences. But jurisdiction means to have the right to say or decide.
You've been listening to Ecclesia Principles with Ray Eppard. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook on our Ray Eppard pages. This program was brought to you by Victory Worship Center and World Outreach. Services Sunday 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock, 200 Hammond Lane, Stanton, Virginia.